7, it's a gentleman I've been speaking to on The Late Show, and started an extraordinary journey 2 weeks ago today, paddling and cycling from Edinburgh to Exmouth, and it's an extraordinary journey in aid of 3 charities. The gentleman concerned is Alistair Cope. Hello to you, Alistair.
Hi, Vic. Hi.
How are you today, and where are you today?
Well, I'm good. I like the alternative route of Exeter to Exmouth.
Yes, that would have been a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Can I change, please, now? I'm south. Well, actually, at the moment, this is one of the nicer moments I've had. I'm in a. Well, I know this is radio, but this is. There's a couple of weeping willow trees which are kind of dangling their branches and leaves into the canal. The sun's shining, and it's a pub garden. There's lots of people sitting out enjoying food, and I've got a pint of cider next to me. This is somewhat idyllic, but it's not always like this.
I was going to say, you're not suffering for your art at the moment, are you?
This is a lovely moment. In fact, if I've had a problem, well, I'm sorry, you asked me a question, which was I'm south of Solihull, I'm still on the Grand Union. Yes, I'm on the Grand Union Canal, and I need to remember to take a right-hand turn fairly soon, because otherwise I'll end up in London, which would not be where I'm aiming for, really.
No, that's kind of off your route. Just to remind people what you're actually doing, you started off 2 weeks ago today, did you not?
Yeah, I did, actually. Yeah, I'm exactly midway. I started, it was 2 weeks ago today, and I'll be finishing 2 weeks on Saturday. So it's funny how it's evolved, though. The whole thing is, you kind of plan everything out, you think you've got the details right, and then the reality is quite different. And it was really tough up in the northeast section, where just the canals were huge, the boats were massive, and the locks were almost impossible to get around. Now I'm down into something much more familiar, but the locks are much smaller. I'm only dealing with pleasure boats at the moment, although it will change again a little bit later on. But and so I'm dragging the boat behind my bike, so I can't get water that's acceptable. Or if there are too many locks, then I kind of cycle past the towpath. But if it's a good section of canal, then I pop the bike onto the back of the boat, much to everyone's amusement, and then paddle.
Now, you're not doing this just for, well, you did wake up one morning and think, I'm going to do this, but there is a reason behind this, and a very good reason. Just remind us of why you're doing this. Yeah,
I had the idea a few years ago that there's a lot of water, and, in England, and it'd be great to actually combine my 2 passions. But I'm also doing it for 3 charities. The one charity which is 10% going to is called Blesma, which a lot of people probably haven't heard of, and that's for servicemen and women that have had an amputation of some kind, or multiple amputees. And I've done some work with them in the past, and they're just great people. And then there's 2 Exeter-based charities. One which is the Exeter Royal Academy for Deaf Education, and they're moving. Well, those in Exeter will know where they are, but they're moving premises, which is a major thing for them to do, and needs a massive amount of funding. And the other charity is Headway Devon, which I've got very kind of personal reasons for doing that. So 90% of the funding goes to the 2 Devon-based charities.
Now, we've had a bit of fun along the way with your various adventures. I know you've been stuck in 1 or 2 dodgy car parks when you've been camping overnight. How is the camping going at the moment? Are you finding pretty good places?
It's pretty good. It's a funny old thing that put me in the middle of Dartmoor. I'm a kind of guide for the national park up there for years, and in the middle of Dartmoor, I'll sleep soundly. But most of the time, I'm camping in really strange places, often quite urban. And I've got bivvying out. I'm trying to find space to put the tent, and you just don't fully sleep. I'm sleeping very, very lightly, and mainly because there's people walking back and forth past your tent, and you just don't know are they people that you want to be associated with or not really. And it's that element which is quite tricky. Last time was quite a good camp. I was again by the canal, and that worked well. And I've had 2 nights in friends' houses, and that was great. Spent about 2 hours in the bathroom trying to get myself sorted out.
Make yourself sociable.
Yeah, it is a bit like that at the moment, yeah. And so that's been great. And when I get to Stratford, I'm actually going to take some. I'm feeling just a bit jaded, I have to say, at the moment now.
Yeah.
It's just beginning to catch up on me. I think it's the lack of sleep and everything. And just that you've got to keep pressing on the whole time.
I suppose the next big urban sprawl, though, is Bristol. Not quite as short, not quite as big as Birmingham, of course, but I suppose that's the next one. And when are you aiming to be in that neck of the woods?
Everything changes at the moment. I can't quite work out I had a schedule, everything mapped out, and it's constantly changing. Things like the locks, this next section is a good example that once you get onto the Stratford-upon-Avon Canal, it's a beautiful canal. I've seen little bits of it in the past, but the next section, for the first 3 miles, there are 18 locks. But I just can't do that. So timing is very huge. Initially, I thought, I'll be able to lug it up and down and all that kind of thing. And I'm probably going to take a couple of days up in Stratford. So then I've got 4 or 5 days after that. So I imagine it's going to be the week before I'm due to finish around there, the weekend before I'm due to finish around there, I think.
And once you are halfway through, so I think we mentioned this on Monday, it's kind of almost mentally downhill now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And actually, the downhill bit is good because when I was up in the northeast, I was canoeing against the flow. So if I was on the Trent, which is a battle, it's a massive river, and so I was canoeing against the flow there. But once I get down to the Avon and then the Severn, then I'm with the flow, which would be, as long as it's not too much of a flow, that'll be great.
Don't come across the Severn bore, will you? That would be...
No, the funny thing, someone mentioned that the other day, saying that actually the time I just might, and I don't want to hit that. So
no.
Really don't. I'll be back up where I started.
Although people do surf along it, so, it's possible, I guess.
Yeah, I've never done that, but you can show me how.
No. That's the answer to that. Well, we'll let you sit and enjoy your cider by the trees in the pub garden.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, very bad. And it's www.papete, P-A-P-E-T-E, paddle and pedal from Edinburgh to Exmouth. Is that right?
That's it, yeah. .co.uk. That's the website. Everything's focused there. I've got links to the charities. I've got a donation button that you can press, and I'm on all the social media sites as well and trying to build that and get interest. And we've had donations coming from, as I'm passing people all over, and that's a fantastic thing. People are giving donations from miles away that have no connection with Devon, but yet because of what I'm doing is so odd, I suppose, they're supporting it, which is great.
Fantastic. And I'll speak to you on Monday evening for the late show, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that'd be great, Vic. That'd be great. It's nice to keep in touch that way.
Brilliant. I wish you well over the weekend. I hope it goes well for you.
Yeah, thanks, Vic. Thanks ever so much.
All the very best to you.
Thank you.
That's Alistair Cope, paddling and pedalling from Edinburgh to Exmouth. Extraordinary. If you have a look at his website, it's www.papete.co.uk, and you'll see pictures of how this logistically works with this cycle on the back of his canoe. It's really an amazing thing. So if you want to have a look at that, it's www.papete.co.uk.